Last week, the foreign exchange market was our focus from the eye of a market operator, and it was propelled by recent activities in that sector of the economy that saw the naira fall to unprecedented low levels. Following that, the CBN has continued to inject funds into that market to offset verified claims, and recently it added some payments to the airlines, although IATA is putting that figure much more higher, which of course we have seen the impact on travel ticket sales alone. So this week we're looking at that same market. That is because the developments have not gone away, but this time around from the eye of an expert. On the program this morning, we will also be taking you through our complimentary segment, Simplified and Markets. My name is Leah Katung-Babatunde, and this is The Policy with Leah. Don't forget, it is also streaming on YouTube at Saban Media Services. Let's begin the business of the day with a look at the trends table.
The Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) has concluded the payment of all verified claims by airlines with an additional $64.44 million to the concerned airlines. Acting Director of Corporate Communications at the CBN, Mrs. Hakama Sidiali, in a statement noted that the latest amount paid to the airlines brought the total verified amount paid to that sector to $136.73 million. According to her, the Governor Leah Katung-Babatunde and his team were doubly committed and will stop at nothing to ensure that the verified backlog of payments across all other sectors was cleared and confidence was restored in the Nigerian foreign exchange market. She assured that the CBN was working with stakeholders to ensure liquidity improves within the forex market, thereby reducing pressure on the naira, and admonished actors in the foreign exchange market to guard against speculation, as such actions could hurt the naira. Meanwhile, the International Air Transport Association (IATA), in a reaction, said it welcomed the Central Bank of Nigeria's announcement that it has released an additional $64.44 million in blocked airline funds and is consulting with airline members to verify the release of their revenues. IATA, in a statement, posited that while the development is encouraging, it's crucial to recognize that approximately $700 million remains blocked with Nigeria's commercial banks, and as such, there's a considerable journey ahead in fully addressing the issue. Airlines should not be unfairly penalized by the lower exchange rate. The association said it will continue to monitor the situation closely and work with the government to ensure that the environment remains conducive to ensuring Nigeria's connectivity to international markets. The Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) has also released this week the sum of $500 million to address the backlog of verified foreign exchange transactions in various sectors. Mrs. Hakama Sidiali, who disclosed this, noted that the management of the bank was committed to settling all legitimate foreign exchange backlogs within a short time frame. Reiterating the assurances of the Governor, Mr. Leah Katung-Babatunde, Sidiali said the CBN had begun implementing a comprehensive strategy to improve liquidity in the Nigerian foreign exchange markets in the short, medium, and long term. The Apex banking regulator noted that the forex market reforms were designed to streamline and unify multiple exchange rates, foster transparency, and reduce arbitrage opportunities. Total assets under the contributory pension scheme reached 18.36 trillion naira by the end of 2023. Data from the National Pension Commission (PENCOM's) unaudited report on pension fund industry portfolio for the period ended December 2023, approved existing schemes, closed pension fund administrators, and RSA funds showed that the country's pension funds appreciated by 22.43% in 2023. The funds grew by 2.39% to 18.36 trillion naira in December from 17.93 trillion naira recorded in November 2023. Net asset rose to 18.36 trillion naira during the period from 14.99 trillion naira in 2022. The report also showed that 11.92 trillion naira of the assets was invested in federal government securities, representing 64.9% of the total assets, and a 24% year-on-year growth in investment in federal government securities. Corporate debt securities followed at 10.4%, with domestic ordinary shares making up 8.6% of the total assets under management. The International Monetary Fund (IMF) has revised Nigeria's growth projection for 2024 to 3% from an initial 3.1% projected in October 2023 for the year. Global growth is projected at 3.1% in 2024 and 3.2% in 2025, with the 2024 forecast 0.2 percentage points higher than that in the October 2023 World Economic Outlook, on account of greater than expected resilience in the United States and several large emerging markets and developing economies, as well as fiscal support in China. In sub-Saharan Africa, growth is projected to rise from an estimated 3.3% in 2023 to 3.8% in 2024 and 4.1% in 2025 as the negative effects of earlier weather shocks subside and supply issues gradually improve. Global headline inflation is expected to fall to 5.8% in 2024 and 4.4% in 2025. Amid favorable global supply developments, global inflation has been falling faster than expected, with recent monthly readings near the para-pandemic average for both headline and underlying core inflation. The revised outlook identified risk to include faster disinflation, slower than assumed withdrawal of fiscal support, faster economic recovery in China, artificial intelligence, and supply-side reforms, commodity price spikes amid geopolitical and weather shocks, persistence of core inflation, requiring a tighter monetary policy stance, faltering of growth in China, and disruptive turn to fiscal consolidation. The fund proposed managing the final descent of inflation, rebuilding buffers to prepare for future shocks, and achieving debt sustainability, enabling durable medium-term growth, and strengthening resilience through multilateral cooperation as policy priorities.
Following the injection of funds into the foreign exchange market, what next and how long will it take to permeate? Professor John Alabi is the Dean Faculty of Management Science, Kogi State University, Anyigba, and he is also the President and Chairman of Council, Institute of Classic Entrepreneurs, ICENT in Nigeria. He joins me to look at developments in the forex market and policy actions. You're welcome, Professor. Nice to have you join me this morning.
Yes, nice having you too. Good morning.
We have seen the Naira in recent times descend to levels that are very, very worrisome. What is your assessment of this development?
For Nigerian situation now, it's most fortunate that Naira has been recording a free fall. Some would say maybe the currency is undervalued. The parallel and the orthodox market has not helped either. So what we have is, I was just looking at from last year, December. We were talking of November, October, 800, 900, 8,000. By December, we had 1,000, 200, almost 1,300. January, we had 1,400. And as at last time, I think I read 1,480 as well, going to 1,500. Some of them predicted that if we are not careful, before the end of the first quarter, we were having 2,000 naira to $1. So I think it is a serious thing. Any nation that does not manage its currency vis-a-vis other currency will run into problem. So it is a source of concern. For government, maybe they're doing what they could do for now. But this free fall must be checked. we are not going to era of fixing exchange rate, but that critical issues must be addressed to start the fall. It is not just the supply side, but the demand side. We must create it. I think what we've been doing now is to just address frontally the issue of the supply side.
The Central Bank of Nigeria has made some interventions, as I mentioned earlier, paying backlogs, and for lots of watches, government might have to turn again to multilaterals to do some more borrowings. Will you be agreeing with these suggestions?
What CBN has been doing in the last few weeks is that the CBN has been making payments for backlogs so that they can free the economy to rework again. CBN has made payments to airline manufacturing. As a date, I think we have paid over $200 billion, as it were, have been paid to manufacturing organizations, the airline, and some other sectors of the economy. In fact, the airline just got another $64 million, making it to be about $200 million to the airline alone. Yes, borrowing may be inevitable, except we expand our export drive, and that's the demand side. The way we're going, we are only paying the backlog. And you just mentioned that the backlog paid is not even the total quantum. So what we will have is that there are still other areas of backlog that need to be paid, but the cleared one is what has been paid. So what it means, therefore, is that we have saved money from so many other areas, and we have cleared the backlog so that the economy might move on. But except we'll have a deliberate effort, very practical effort at expanding our revenue generation base vis-a-vis export drive, we might end up borrowing. The public expenditure management, I'm happy that government has tried to cut costs of government, particularly that have to do with external tours and visits of government officials. So these are critical. I agree with you that there's likelihood that we may resort to borrowing. We have borrowed, we might resort to borrowing to pay the backlog. But to avoid that, I think the critical issues must be addressed as we go along. The issue of expanding our, very, very important export base so I can have foreign exchange, and to manage what we have. Again, it's also important that even those backlogs that have been paid, they should be monitored such that it is used to reject the economy. The essence of clearing that is not just to have money, but that they have confidence in the economy, that the economy will be able to pay them, and so that they can replow or plow back those effects to reduce the economy.
So we've just spent 1 month out of 12 for the year 2024. At this pace, at this rate, really, what is the year looking like? How is it going to pan out?
1/12, and we're in this. Well, I won't call it a quagmire, but it's a fixation that can be fixed. The declining value of Naira has not really helped us, particularly between December and now. And the first month in 12 months, it's scary. But I think what we need to do is for us to, it has major effects, I must tell you. If in the first month we're having this bad, if it's not checked, what's going to happen is they're going to have spillover effects. If not checked, will translate to the lower availability of funds for sharing at the federal revenue. The ripple effect of that will that states will have lesser money to address issues of governance in their states, and that might spill off crisis. For the federal government, I think at this early stage, we should walk our talk. The fiscal policy, the monetary policies, the government officials come together and make sure that we address this. But I think it's too early, the first month of the year, and the effect might be so many. If this continues, it might affect not only the annual budget, even the medium-term expansion framework that have been planned. They are predicated on some basic assumptions. And if those assumptions are now questionable and they're not looking upward, they're looking downwards, then there's a need for us to change our strategy.
What exactly are the issues before policy makers who have the statutory responsibility of not only regulating that market, but of course providing Nigerians with a viable socio-economic environment that works?
The two major issues that confronts the current administration is insecurity and the economy. If you can fix these two, we are good to go. Issues for policymakers are diversified. The first thing is the backlog. I think we must start from that. This humongous money that have been released to these agencies as backlog should be effectively monitored to ensure that they are not just being repatriated, but they are being reinvested back to move the economy forward. It's important. CBN must be on top of the situation and address the issue clearly, monitor to ensure that the utilization of those funds are done. The second thing is like I mentioned, effective public expenditure management is critical. At this time when resources are scarce and we have foreign exchange, I do not even believe that we need to have, as it were, the issue of 20 people, 15 people following government officials. I don't know. You look at other nations, for instance, all right? The way they do, you see a president move with 2, 3 presidents, and they are all gone. What we require, even our contingent into some other events, you see the number of contingents we take along, and every day they don't do anything. I think it's important that we start managing our public expenditure very well. Number 3 is export-based, diversification. That is the way to go. The demand side of it is we have so many exported commodities that can be processed. So we need to deepen our collaboration and synergy among ministries who are concerned with not only producing export products, but processing and adding value to it. And we should identify our partners, all right, so that we can trade and get foreign exchange. I say to you that if we are doing for every local government one export drive, like the NEPC, Nigerian Export Promotion Council, did some years back, they were not so they are not intentional about the process. That's why it died. If every local government has an imported commodity, you can either export raw if you don't process, or we can have processing centers in all the geopolitical zones. The policy administration is that encourage public-private partnership and let us drive an export-based diversification. That will give us the needed foreign exchange. The fourth one, of course, is the issue of revisiting our attitudes and habits. Nigerians continually have a penchant for imported commodities. We must change our consumption pattern. And that can be done in 2 ways, Antilia. Number 1 is, let's us do a reorientation of our people. I recall some years back, there is what we call buy made in Nigerian products. It becomes so fashionable, and all of a sudden, no sustainability and continuity in that. Let us do a moral assuasion of changing our psyche to buy and patronize locally made goods. The second aspect is, while you are doing that, I think I subscribe to the view that we must have a legislation, like other nations did, to, as it were, restrict consumption of foreign products, made in Nigerian products. America did it. In 1933, the post-war, buy America. In 2021, it said, buy and rebuild America. It's a legislation. You must not. We did it. India did it some years back. We're not saying we should seal our borders. No, but we can have a restrictive policies and laws that says we must patronize our local products. I think it's important that we start looking at our barrier situation, particularly with China. You know why? China, we import virtually everything from China. If that is the case, maybe we have to change our trading pattern. Let us de-dollarize this economy. Since 80%, 70% of our imports are coming from China, let's trade in yuan so that we conserve our dollar. That's one option for China. They are major import partners, so we can do that. Otherwise, the currency swap we did was not adequate enough. That's what happened. But we can now say, since you are a major trading partner, yes, we acquire yuan and pay rather than doing dollars.
How will this be impacting the 2024 budget and, of course, the National Development Plan?
I think January is just here, and Mr. President has a team that can work. All we require is collaboration between all agencies of government responsible, fiscal and monetary, and the central bank, focusing on the economy, the other ancillary services of CBN, which the previous administration were doing, should just be put aside abeyance. They can do it as a supplement. The core thing is to stabilize the Naira, and they should do that for us so that we can have an economy that will grow. When you have a stable Naira, what it does for you is to bring confidence to investors, local, and also attract foreign investment.
Before I let you go, Prof, let me take this very, very last one. Should we as a nation be looking at short-term solutions or long-term solutions?
In strategic management, you plan long, all right? You think perspectively, then you now have those plans, broken down into. It's important for us to have long-term plan for this economy. A vision is a dream. That vision is reduced into plans. The plans are now, broken down into annual budgets. It's important for us to have a long-term perspective where really do Nigeria economy is going to. It's important that we have low-hanging fruits, quick wins. Of course, in doing whatever you are doing in administration, one thing stands out clearly: you cannot be strategizing for the future and be having carcasses around you. What you do is you look into the perspective and break it down. For me, I think government should have a plan that says, look, this year, this is what we want to achieve as regards Naira stability. Then you can now prospect into 2-3 years. You can think long, but then you can act now.
Thank you, Prof. Nice having you on the program this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me. Good morning, Nigeria.
Yeah, have a nice one.
My name is Aldume Kori.
Keep watching The Policy with Leah.
It aims to provide policymakers an opportunity to explain their policies in a way that members of the public affected by those policies can understand and engage with those policies.
Keep watching The Policy with Leah.
It is that learning time on the program, and the word for this week is force majeure. Stick around as we simplify that for you, and from there we go to the markets. For more rates and markets across the country, do well to log on to our sister website, www.marketnigeriatv.com. We have all the rates and numbers for you there for your daily shopping list. We draw the curtains here, but we'll be returning your way same time next week. Don't forget, you can always catch up with all episodes of The Policy with Leah on our YouTube channel, Saban Media Services. Subscribe, follow us, like, and across our various social media platforms. We value your feedback, so send in your comments, questions, and suggestions. Make smart decisions. Be wise when you do your investment actions out there. Remember, working Nigeria is beneficial for us all, and the time to roll the sleeves and make that happen is now. My name is Leah Katung-Babatunde saying, have a beautiful and lovely February. God bless Nigeria.